Hello and welcome to the Urban MBA Enterprise Journey. And today I'm actually giving a podcast. And for all those people that know me, you know how much I despise doing this type of stuff. But the person that's normally doing our enterprise journey, in terms of the shows that we've done in the past, was a lady called Rachael Jesse.
As a black founder myself, I think funding is very difficult to get. Those people that run charities, it said that most black founders of charities are running with £10,000 a year. They're doing. We have less access to finance, so it's harder. But I just want to look at it maybe also from, say, a borough perspective. Do you think your borough has supported you in terms of what you want to do? And is it the same thing? Are there the same barriers? You're a Hackney girl.
Yeah. I grew up in Hackney.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, no, Hackney, it was weird. I don't even know how to explain it. I wanted to get a shop in Hackney, like a little restaurant thing. So I've been talking to them for a while. And I did approach them, like, because I just started and I was like, for support and stuff like that in terms of finances, a little bit of discount. But no, it's like if you look at Hackney now, it's very gentrified. Those that grew up there, not a lot of us have, it doesn't look like the way it used to be. I don't know what their gender is. I don't think it's fair. But again, that's life, isn't it? But no, I don't feel like I was supported by, the council as much as they could have. Because I also, even with the markets, the London Fields was the borough markets. The same thing as well. Like that I was explaining to you, that I was running around trying to do things for myself, trying to knock on people's doors, and these are the examples that I was making. That it was always, no, we're too full, but then somebody else will get the spot, and stuff like that. So, but if you kick up a fuss, then you'd be like, oh, it's an angry black woman. It's that's the easiest remark that they can make, but I continue, and look at me now, regardless of their help, I'm still kind of.
Okay, so if we can turn it to a sort of positive, because obviously I operate in Hackney and I don't want to be seen that I'm being negative. This happens a lot in a lot of boroughs. What could they do to support people like yourself who develop SME, small and medium enterprises in there? What would have helped you? Because I think maybe if we can say what would be better to help, maybe it's a better spit. So what would you want from them?
A chance, an opportunity. Imagine like me having a shop on Homerton High Road where I used to walk down all the time, and people reckon, oh right, Rach, oh we know Rach. That would be great for the council as well, because they there's people that know me, but then they don't provide that. They provide it from people that are not even from the borough, or people that, coffee places. Everywhere is a coffee shop. Like, come on, dudes, how many coffee shops do we need in Hackney? But if they had, just given that chance, I feel like, yeah, I would have bought some different kind of bag.
Should they maybe
community.
consider black programs just for women?
I was gonna say that, like, just offering kind of programs for people within the community, not just women. It could be for young people. I know they try different programs, but something that can stick and easily accessed by the people in the community, because there's things that they say they've done, but people don't have access to it.
So trying to balance, being a mom, working full time, and the business, I was going crazy, Cove, because it was just too much. I will drive, like, after a long week, I will now drive like another 2 hours to pick up Josh from school, and bring him back home. Like, it was just it was a lot. So I had to sit his dad down. I was just them down. I'm like, look, I can't do this. I'm losing my mind. Like, I'm going great in my hair. Like, I need to pick something and focus on it. So I said, I'm gonna try this business, this food business, because it's starting to, it looks like it can go somewhere. I mean, I'll be in meetings and I'll be scheduling food to be dropped off to an organization. That's when I knew that, okay, I need to focus on this business. So I decided to build up the courage and do it full time.
But before then, as I recall, so you came to me with two other ideas, and we were attempting to do that before the food came along. One of them was a gaming business.
Yes, yes, I forgot about.
And we were at the stage where we were looking at doing a website and everything else. But so why did that not happen? And you've now had like three. And so, yeah, why did that not happen? And do people around you influence what happens in terms of you being an entrepreneur and not having the right people around?
I think so. I think not everybody can believe in your vision, and some things aren't meant to be. Like, you could be in a position, you are good friends with someone, and sometimes friendship, like, you don't have to do business with each other, and because you know so much of each other, and some friends will think that they know all of you, but not necessarily. They don't. There's sides of you that they don't actually know, and when they start to see this side, they shock, like, who's this girl, like, where's she come from? But I've always been that person. Like, I guess those ideas that I did have with friends, like the cleaning, it just wasn't at the right time. And I guess not everyone can see the vision that you do, And thankfully, also with the cleaning business, even if we tried it, you don't know where it would have led to. So it's actually a good thing, because all those experiences that I've had is brought me to where I am today. So it's all gratitude at the end of the day. Yeah.
So you mentioned you being on the World Cook Show, and you also mentioned that you got into the Gordon Ramsay show, which one of our alumni actually they've interviewed her previously on the show. So because of that connection on her, we were allowed to put a few more people forward, and I put you forward for that. So you just mentioned some disappointment in that.
Yeah, I remember, like, because I went to the audition, Gordon Ramsay, and it was quite nerve-wracking because of all the things that they make you do. I don't know. I'm not. I don't know if I'm supposed to talk about it, but yeah, it was quite daunting, And then you go, they call you back again, and then you go for another audition. So when you hear, like, oh, sorry, I'm sorry, it's just like, oh God, do you know what? It is what it's meant to be, isn't it? Whatever. And then when you get another opportunity, it's just like, oh, okay. So things happen, and you kind of just brush it off, and you move on with your life, and then another opportunity just opens when,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I think a few too many people get crestfallen once they get told no. But there's all stories like the lady who invented Canva had 500 no's before she got to, or sorry, 100 no's before she got to get some investment. But a little while later, the World Cook Show came along. And how do you feel about them and that? Because the biggest problem for entrepreneurs that we see is that the lack of marketing support and money to create marketing. You can do all the stuff for social media, but the algorithm picks up bigger people, which is why it's one of the reasons why I don't like and won't do podcasts, because the whole thing is about what big celebrity you have for how people. When there's real people like you, which really annoys me, because the algorithm will only work better for when you've got those top people. So the World Cook Show is a chance for you to do marketing and really get yourself out there. How was that for you? And what's come about from?
The show was quite interesting, actually. I met really cool people across the globe, like, and you're competing for this title, the World Cook. So they did season 1, excuse me, and so we were on the season 2. Um, but yeah, so I went through the first round when they said, "Oh, you're through." I was like, "Oh, okay, this is interesting." And then the second round, I suppose it's like destiny is what comes to it, because I was supposed to be in group A, but because I had already a contract with Yahoo, because it was during the Black History Month, and I had a contract already, like, the day every day. So I asked them to change me to group B. Okay. So I feel like it's like, okay, so group A, they ended up going to somewhere hot, somewhere in Greek, I think. Was it Crete, or was it Crete?
Yeah, Crete is a
Yes, no, or Greek. Crete anyway, yeah. They went to Crete, and then I guess our group went to Iceland.
Oh, you went to Iceland. You were in the cold.
Yeah.
Okay, you don't.
Oh, it was beautiful. The scenery was lovely. Everything was beautiful, but I think the type of food that I was cooking, our cultural food, just didn't mesh with Irish people.
Were they Irish? Yeah,
Yeah, the judge. Yeah. So yeah, if you look back at it, you understand what I'm talking about. But yeah, it is what it is. These kind of shows it's all the same, really. Sometimes I feel like they know what they're doing in terms of they know who they want to put forward and stuff like that. But yeah, and they put their tokens, you know. But yeah, it was a great opportunity. You know, like I said to you earlier, that the people that weren't, you know, I was going to knock on their door. Oh, can you give me an opportunity at your markets, etc. They were like, oh no, we're very busy now. Blah, blah. They were the same people. After they seen the World Click, they started coming and asking me to be part of them. So it's just typical, isn't it? Branding is very important. Marketing is very important. I spent a lot of money in the van to just to get it right. And you know, I'm a vibrant, colorful person, and I wanted it to show on, you know, on you know, my van, the way I am. There's so many sides to me. Only a few know. Which, you know, I hope when people look at, you know, my website or my Insta, they can see, okay, this girl is, yeah, she seems pretty cool, and I'm down to earth, really.
So I want to ask you about a couple of things, two or three things. Firstly, you were working at an organization and they were really, really winding you up at the side. And there is that was phone call that you gave me when you just said, I've had enough working there. So that's one. But I think that all goes into that whole area of resilience, and in particular, friends around you who don't want the best for you either. So how important is it to have the right people around you? And also being in that job that you were in, that you were, I wouldn't say drowning, but you just weren't loving it. You have to make that decision. So there's a lot of tough mental and heart-wrenching decisions that you have to make. Talk us through some of those things.
Oh yeah. Having the right people around you, I can't tell you guys enough. Right, Auntie Rachel's speaking today, yeah? So you better listen. Listen, it's so important because you, whether it's relationships, whether it's a job, whether it's your marriage, whether it's your friendship, if it's not going well, your thought process is going to be bung down with the situation that you're currently in. That you can't think up further than that. You can't look further than that point that you're in. So from my experience and from what I've gone through, after removing some sort of certain relationships, certain friendships, I started to see life changing for me. I started to think for myself. Not saying that I wasn't thinking for myself, but influences are like, you've grown up with someone like for a long time. So their opinion and their thoughts and, you know, what they think, it does matter. I'm a very open person. And I share a lot. Maybe I share too much about my person, you know. But I've grown up in this country by myself. I've got, you won't believe it, I've got 11 siblings. Wow. Yeah. But I've grown up, a lot of people don't know that, but I've grown up here by myself. So I've learned how to kind of like manage things on my own. Really. And when I see friendships, I see it as this is my sister, this is my brother. So I hold it dear to my heart. And not everybody sees things like that, you know? So I would get really hurt, like, oh my God, I treat you like my sister, I treat you like my brother. But not everybody has that, because a lot of them have their own siblings. So they don't see you as, you know, like you're my sister, remember? But, you know, only in later on in life that I realized, you know, it's cool. Like, you can let things go. You can let your relationships go. You can let things go. And I started to find myself and be more happier when I started working for myself. This is what brings me joy. You know, being goofy, being, you know, in front of the camera, dancing. You know, people will go to Leadenhall. It's hard. You know, getting up in the morning, every 4 o'clock in the morning, you know, and starting cooking and prepping. They're loading. My neighbors, they all see me, you know, loading all my equipment in the van and the car.
Let me say it, because I think that most people, when they see entrepreneurs doing well, think they live in the good life. But actually, entrepreneurs have to work harder.
It's 7 days a week.
You never switch up.
It's 7 days a week. There's no rest, because even when you're not working, you're doing other things. You're prepping, you're doing shopping, you're doing this. So it's a lot of work that people don't actually see. And half of the time, people think that the money is coming. Yes, it is, but then it's going out the same way, you know, like even more. So things are very costly and expensive. So I guess to my point that, yes, it's important to surround yourself with, you know, people that are like-minded. And if people aren't like-minded, drop them. Sorry, and move forward. You will find your tribe, you know, somewhere else, kind of thing.
I think it's one of those that inflicts our community a lot, which is why I asked you that, because we seem to have, and I've talked to many people about the crabs in bucket mentality, where people are pulling you down. They're on your when you're about to do something really good.
I just don't think they see it. I think some people are just negative. Like, it's just within them that they're just negative. So it's when you start recognizing that, and you like, okay, yeah, I can see the sign. Let me shut that door down quickly, because I'm not going there again. Yeah, I guess until, like I said, until I started, you know, doing things that I love, meaning even working for myself, you know, making myself happy, music, dancing, just being free, then I start to recognize if something is going to be negative or coming to me negatively, I can just shut that door straight away. I'm like, yeah, no, sir, not today. You know, and faith comes into it as well. Like, you got to be prayerful. You got to believe, like, if this doesn't happen for me to, like, right now, maybe this is not right your time, you know, but keep going, you know, you have to keep going.
People definitely give up too easy when they realize in what we've seen, or the amount of entrepreneurs that we've done, that it takes a lot of work. A lot of them can't do it. You know, there's a reason. You have to have a reason, motivation, but also they have people around that are saying, oh, they won't work, it won't go here, and they won't do, then ultimately people give up. But the other point I made to you is the time when you left your job off and finally decided, I can't do this mobile. So I remember you calling me really annoyed because they were putting you under pressure. What were the circumstances that made you say, okay, now I'm ready to go out there and I tried to be an entrepreneur, or to be an entrepreneur?
Yeah. The boiling point for me, Kofi, was when I was taking calls. Okay, yeah, I should know, man. I was that way. But calls were coming in, and I was trying to, you know, organize myself, whatever. But I was very present in my jobs, right? But yes, I'd made mistakes here and there, but who doesn't, right? And then the director is an Englishman, and he said to me, "So I hear you're a caterer. You have your own business." In sitting in a meeting room, I was like, "Yes, absolutely, yeah, I do. That's my passion." And he was like, "Well, this should be your passion." Looked at the man, I was thinking, my brain, like, I was numb because I didn't know what to say back. But if I was to rewind and go back to him, I'd be like, why did you say that? What would you say that to your daughter? Like, I feel like even if my staff was telling me about their passion and stuff, I'm very much encouraging, like, it's important to have something that keeps you going. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't understand why corporates think that it's a bad thing to have something on the side. It's not. Why are you threatened? If somebody's gonna find their purpose, that's what life is about. It's all about us experiencing things, different things. We're not supposed to be situated in the same position forever.
But I recall, because I was saying to you, you should never say that type of thing to them at the time, because those people who, whenever you work for somebody, as soon as you show some signs of entrepreneurship or that way, they just don't trust.
That's why corporate never worked for me, because everybody's two-faced. I'm not two-faced. No, people know how to hide things, and it can never work for me because people are just like, it's like people plot against each other in the corporate space, like because people want the positions, and it's that drama. It's not for me. It's not for my good for my mental health. I don't know. Those that do well in that environment, they know they like sheiks. They know how to mask themselves, but it will never work. That's why I had to be like, nope, this is it for me. I can't stay here anymore. I need to really work on my mental health because I feel like it was driving me crazy.
Good.
Yeah.
So you stayed there just until Christmas, and then January the 1st, you moved on out and started doing what we say Rachael Cooks.
Yeah.
What you've been doing now. Now, we talk all the time at Urban MBA, and I know it drives you mad about technology and the future of technology, and all of these things that are coming in. And we believe in particular that everybody has to have a side hustle. You did things the right way, because I always say to people, if you're going to do a business, have money coming in, the hardest way to be an entrepreneur is just going straight into it and being an entrepreneur, because most people haven't got enough money to cover their bills. Cover all of that. So you technically did it the right way, but the jump to go do what you're doing, and in particular with Joshua. So we at Urban MBA always talk about technology a lot. And I know the stats about what's going to happen, technology, AI, all of those things.
I've been saying for years, yeah. People are going to lose their jobs. So they're talking this talk for a long time.
We always say we're in the fourth industrial revolution, and to a lot of people, they don't understand what that is. And you spell it correctly with creating a side hustle where you've been working, so there's less pressure on you in terms of that. But everybody needs to have a side hustle. If you were going to give them some tips of how to get a side hustle going, or how to become an entrepreneur, what would those tips be from your journey?
Hopefully, I get so many people in my DMs, yeah, to asking me questions, and I mentor one guy as well. I told you about him. He's in cyberspace. Yeah, but I would just say, like, whatever you're interested in, that that puts that smile on your face. I think just try it out. Like, there's no rush. You can just do it on the weekends or in the evening. Just try it out. There's no, yeah, why not? If you fail, so what? But it's very important to keep your main job, and while you're trying different things on the side for yourself, because yeah, otherwise, if you try and just say, you know what, I'm just going to be an entrepreneur, it's going to be hard. It's a hard journey. Unless you've got really a fantastic idea and you can sit there in front of investors and they can just give you money straight away. You never know, what sector or where you want to take it. But it's better to try than not to try.
There are predictions of nearly 300 to 400 million job shortages because of, with us, that technology, they're going to take things over. What I wanted to sort of ask you, though, in particular, in relation to this, is the question that most people don't like asking. As a black female in this business, or a black female in general, how have you found the way you've been treated in terms of across the board? You're also a black female single mom, right? And the challenges that come with that. Have you had that experience of the angry black women that people talk to you about? Do you get negative feedback because you are a black female business? Tell us.
It's not just business. I think throughout my career, I guess, when I've been a manager, managing people and stuff, it's been hard. It's been not hard, difficult, challenging. Because, for example, I'll be a woman that's managing men that have wives at home and have children, and they're the man of the house. I'm talking about Asian culture and Nigerian culture, different kind of cultures that I'm now, in this corporate space managing here. So it's been challenging. Like, I've had a few moments that are memorable, but I feel like as a woman first, a black woman, a single mom, I feel like I feel unprotected. when I say that, is like there's no one really there to protect me, you know. So it does make me a little bit vulnerable to certain kind of
Okay, so
situations.
let's start with topic. Well, when you say you feel unprotected, what do you feel like more people take shots at you because of that reason? Is that what you mean?
I feel it is shots. Yes, if you want to say shots, and I feel like, you know, in business wise as well, I do feel like people do take the absolute piss, you know. Do you know what I'm saying? Because they think, okay, yeah, she don't know nothing. She not gonna know nothing. So they might overlook me for certain things. It is, call it what it is. It is what it is, and I've experienced that like a few times. I can give you examples. You know, if I say it's unfair, I just say it is what it is. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like in this industry that I am in, it is challenging for me trying to navigate it myself. You know, a lot of people, they work with their moms, they've got restaurants, or they've got a partner but they're doing it with, so they can kind of like work together, or, you know, a partner in terms of business partner as well. But I'm navigating this on my own. So it is quite challenging, you know, because there's no one I can like, oh, I need this, I need that, I need that. But I am fortunate enough that I do have friends in the industry that check up on me. It's so important because there's days that I'm like cracking inside internally. But I'll get a call from, for example, a Theo, for example, and they'll be like, sis, you got this, sis. It's like I ring her, I'll be like, sis, you got this. I know now, you know, you're wearing all the hats, you're doing it by yourself. You know, I see you. And those kind of calls is so important because it's like, yeah, you do see me, you know, and are you hiring her?
But you're talking about support groups.
Yeah, so it's important to have support group. And I always remember my whys, you know, why I'm doing it. And look, my mum's getting to that age, like, I'm Nigerian. We don't put our parents in home. You know what I'm saying? We're not taught like that. The same people that wipe your bum when you're young, you know, you got to look after them, you know? So that is in my forefront. That is in my thought process. Like, okay, I've got this amount of years. God knows, by God's grace, I want to do this by this, because I want her to be comfortable. So I'm trying to create space for her. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm working hard, because I need to create space and I need to do this X, Y, Z. So the business, in terms of scaling, is going to have to take a backseat because I can't do everything at once. So these are my goals, immediate goals, and these are my long-term goals. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's how I kind of structure my life. And obviously Joshua plays an important part of it as well, because he's going to go to decide whether he wants to go to uni, he's going to do, you know, and all of this. So I am wearing a lot of hats, you know, but it is what it is.
Discrimination, it's important that people understand it does exist. It exists in particular for black females even higher than any other area.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. You know, like, even sometimes, even, yeah, in the markets, for example, it's just, yeah, it's evident. But what can you do? Like, we're still trying to break the barriers, you know. And I'm glad to see like a lot of events that are happening. You know, our community is they're doing their own thing as well. Because I will tell you honestly, there was a guy that I work with all the time. He's an Asian guy, and so he gets me Royal Wolf. He knows who he is. He's the one that I work with at Royal Wolf, and it tells me that what he experiences. Like, he's been in the game for a long time. In terms of it's like an agent, right? So he's been in the game for a long time. But when it's time to get other contracts, they will go to, you know, they will go there. But he's an Asian guy, so he's got blockages. Do you know what I'm saying? He won't get certain contracts because he doesn't fit certain molds. Whereas some other people, it's easy for them to get, you know, the big contracts and stuff. It's, you know, let's call it for what it is. There is discrimination everywhere, in every sector. Do you know what I mean? But we are gonna break those barriers, and that's I don't care. Like, you can tell me no. I'll still keep going. Like, I've gotten to an age now where nothing phases me. I can be as goofy as I want. I can dance and laugh in my social media because it's just like life is about experiencing. And the thing is, having different groups and different cultures, it's London is beautiful because we've got so much. We are so lucky that we've got. We'll walk out your door, you've got different cuisines everywhere. Do you know what I mean? You won't get that in different in different places outside of UK. So why not embrace that?
Yeah, and I think that's one thing I would say about London is that they have more cultures than anywhere else. But I also want to just come back to one other point. When you look at how many young black men are in prison at the moment, you will also notice that many of them come from single mum homes, black single mums. So it's 70-80% of black young men in prison come from single mother homes. Are you worried about that in terms of you bringing up Josh? And does that go into your bed? How do you keep that guy
No,
going?
I'm not worried about that side because like he's built differently. Like he's surrounded by love, right? Both yes, me and his dad never worked out, but we're in his face all the time. Do you know what I'm saying? When it comes to him, we co-parent. Do you know what I mean? His grandparents are very involved. He's told he gets hugs, he gets kisses. He's told that I love you. I'm interested in what he's doing. He's an entrepreneur. So I've always poured into him that he's an amazing child, that yes, he is black. He needs to recognize that he's very vulnerable to this world, the minute he walks out the door. But it's important for him to love himself, that he's important to us, so there's things from early that I've exposed him to, traveling from young. We were traveling a lot, I haven't done much now because I'm safe business, the business. But yes, I've exposed them to a lot of things. Even the friendship groups that he's had, like if you look at his dynamic, he's different. So I do believe that a lot of the time it is around is how the children grow up. It's the environment, and it's important to spend time with the children as well, which I'm trying to balance as well, to keep an eye on him and stuff. You have to keep an eye on that. Not, but it's, the good thing about the business, it does give me that flexibility to be around most of the time, But yeah, it's sad that a lot of our young black men are in prison or they, stabbing in, each other. And I don't know what's changed over the past 10, 15 years. I do know in terms of the softness of the government when it comes to parenting, um, you know, giving the parents less control.
And I think that's an issue, the fact that they
Over the years, over time, yeah, yes. But you can never know what the outcome of your children's gonna be like. Children can come from rich family and then they can be assholes later. But excuse my language. But you have to be prayerful for your children, like, and God should protect them when they, as soon as they leave the house, and hope for the best. But yes, communication is very important because these kids they learn differently. They learn fast with technology. Yeah. YouTube, they can learn everything on YouTube, so they're a lot more fast than we were, it's scary web. The web is scary.
Okay, so I get down to the last bits. As a black founder myself, I find that funding is really challenging. We get less access to finance, which is why we generally do so well.
Yeah.
And I deal with the council also a lot and all different things. Yeah, so as a black founder myself, I think funding is very difficult to get. Those people that run charities, except that most black founders of charities are running up with £10,000 a year. They do. We have less access to finance, so it's harder. But I just want to look at it maybe also from say, a borough perspective, do you think your borough has supported you in terms of what you want to do? And is it the same thing? Are there the same barriers? You're a Hackney girl.
I grew up in Hackney, and unfortunately, no, Hackney, those words. I don't even know how to explain it. Um, I wanted to get a shop in Hackney, like a little restaurant thing. So I've been talking to them for a while, and I did approach them, like, because I just started, and I was like, for supports and stuff like that in terms of finances, a little bit of discount, But no, it's like if you look at Hackney now, it's very gentrified. Um, those that grew up there, not a lot of us have, you know it doesn't look like the way it used to be. I don't know what their gender is. I don't think it's fair. But again, that's life, isn't it? But no, I don't feel like I was supported by, the council as much as they could have. Because I always, even with the markets, the London Fields was the borough markets. The same thing as well. Like, that I was explaining to you, that I was running around trying to do things for myself, trying to knock on people's doors, and these are the examples that I was making. That it was always, no, we're too full, but then somebody else will get the spot, and stuff like that. So, but if you kick up a fuss, then you'll be like, oh, it's an angry black woman. That's the easiest remark that they can make, but I never, I continue, and look at me now, regardless of their help, I'm still kind of.
Okay, so if we can turn it to a sort of positive, because obviously I operate in Hackney and I don't want to be seen that I'm being negative. This happens a lot in a lot of boroughs. What would they do to support people like yourself who develop SME, small and medium enterprise in there? What would have helped you? Because I think maybe if we can say what would be better to help, might make this a better split. So what would you want from them?
A chance, an opportunity. Imagine, like, me having a shop on Homerton High Road where I used to walk down all the time, and people reckon, oh, right, Rach, oh, we know Rach. That would be great for the council as well, because there's people that know me, but then they don't provide that. They provide it from people that are not even from the borough, or people that, coffee places. Everywhere is a coffee shop. Like, come on, dudes, how many coffee shops do we need in Hackney? But if they had, just given that chance, I feel like, yeah, I would have bought some different kind of vibe.
Should they maybe consider black programs just for women?
I was gonna say that, like, just offering kind of programs for people within the community, not just women. It could be for young people. I know they try different programs, but something that could stick and easily accessed by the people in the community. Because there's things that they say they do, but people don't have access to any. Make it as accessible, put in job centers or whatever for those people that need it.
All right, so we're coming to the end, and then let's say to you, what tips or what would you give people in terms of advice of creating their own business? I personally believe, as I've said multiple times, that everybody needs to have a side hustle, because if we look at what's going on with these technologies, even cleaning in here, you come in here with your cleaning robots, right? So all of those jobs are slowly eroded. 3 days ago, Uber announced that they're going to be doing autonomous taxis from spring 2026. That's going to put in this borough, or every borough, those people who are now taxi drivers, in a lot of jeopardy, as have all the cashiers that have gone. So when our kids, if I had any, were going to university and they had cashier jobs to support them, those things don't exist anymore. So most people need to have a side hustle. What advice would you give, or what tips would you give them to make that journey easier? We've identified today that you've got to be very resilient. Yeah, that's the given, right? You've said about passion. But what else would support somebody to go into this who's thinking about?
Yeah, I think we covered, passion, resilience, having the drive, um, surrounding yourself with the right people, positive people, because negative people will just they will cloud your judgment. And I suppose just having the vision, having that vision, putting it on your vision board, telling yourself every day, waking up every day, telling yourself that this is what I want to do and visualize it. Because I remember that when we'd had done my vision board, was it 4 years ago? I can tell you now, yes, it takes time, but at least 5 of those things that were on my vision board, I am doing and I've done. I still got a lot of places to, things to do, but you have to write these things down and you've got to visualize it. Yes, side hustle is important, but get it's not for everyone. Some people are happy doing a 9 to 5 because they can safely see their salary every month and every. But having one job is not enough to survive in UK. Like the bills are piling up, things, and you still want to have that kind of like balance where you want to travel and stuff. And if you have a family, it's not what's the word I'm looking for? It's uh, I'm lost my word.
It's challenging because most people can't make ends meet at the moment. But in the 9 to 5, what they do, and people are having multiple jobs now. Yeah.
Yeah, we become like America. Like you hear girls like, yeah, I got 3 jobs. Now I'm going to the next shift. We're becoming like that now, where we're having like 2, 3 jobs, just to sustain the lifestyle that we want. But I will say to people, stay on the right track. Don't go left, because we know how other people are doing, making money, OnlyFans. But we won't go there. Okay. Girls, stay on the jet. Okay. Let's stay focused, girls. Yeah, it's very important. And when young girls, they see me at Royal Wolf, I have a little kids that they come and see me. So it's all about representation. I want to show these girls, like, look, no matter what it is, like whatever it is that you want to do, you can do it. And they see that. And there's one little girl who's just like, "Hi, auntie," every time that she sees me on Sundays, and it gives me, it makes me happy that people recognize, like they can see. A lot of people talk to me, there's no face to them. Like different culture, they come to and purchase food, and that's the amazing thing about my food. Like it draws different people in terms of the taste, in your own community. Yeah, I'm building my own community. It's amazing, and it gives me so much joy. And sometimes, like my body might hurt in terms of getting up in the morning at 4 o'clock in the morning repeatedly, to do it. But then when I get there, I'm just like, oh, hi guys, how are you? Having that community spirit is just amazing. So, like, when you find your niche, when you find the thing that gives you that drive, it becomes easier. Yes, it's not physically easy or mentally, but it gives you that kind of, yeah, your reason why. When you find your reason why,
Okay, so the lasting future for you. Are we talking RMCooks products in places? What's the next thing for what do you want to?
Okay, they say speak and it shall happen.
Yeah.
So I would love to have like the fleet of, the bands around.
Oh yeah.
I would love to have I start like a little takeaway somewhere, branded, in a cool kind of location where it's accessible to everybody. And grow my team. I've got really great people that are working for me. Like they keep me young, they keep me fresh, and I've got a young lady as well that does driving, which, remember I was saying I need a driver. You felt, yeah, she's so cool. Like, so the team is growing, but I guess, yeah, it's all about cash flow, isn't it? It's all about cash flow. I need that finance to be able to kind of move on to the next. Yeah.
But I think one of the things that people don't take, and when we do this Urban MBA, they always talk about social mobility. And social mobility is about that. It's not just Rachel. Rachel's got 6 other young people that you've hired, you've given jobs. And they wouldn't get that if you haven't gone on to do what you did. So I think that whole thing about hiring and people becoming entrepreneurs means that more other people get more jobs, because most people don't know that in the country it's actually the SMEs that provide most of the work. It's not the big Googles of the world, the Amazon of the world. It's actually small and medium enterprises just like yourself that hire people, and the average SME is worth 10 million, which is interesting. So
Yeah, I would love to be one.
it's 10 million, Rachel.
Give it 3 years, guys. I'm coming.
All right.
I'm coming.
It's fantastic. Thank you so much for coming. Experience so enjoyable. I'm looking forward for you coming and talking to me about 10 million in the next 18 to 24 months. Stand up.
18 to 24 months. Wow, pressure.
Hopefully have you back on this side and talking to other entrepreneurs who have now come through or have been inspired by you. So we look forward to that. And please keep giving those tips on social media that you're now doing. They're asking you questions, yes?
Oh yeah, people are asking me questions all the time. Where'd you get your van? Or how can I start catering? Or how can I do this? And then I'm like, okay. But my friend, she said to me, Rachel, yeah, I mean, I know you don't want to gatekeep, yeah, but I think it's time for you to start doing consultancy. So, okay, there you go. If you want advice, I'll be charging ya. Yeah.
Okay, Rachel. Thank you so much, Rachel. Marty Jesse, aka Rachel Cooks.
Yes. Thank you for having me. Thanks, good.
You're welcome.